witches! So today we're going to talk about a form of magic that I am very excited to use this year, and that is snow magic. So I grew up in a place that didn't get like a whole lot of snow. Like we got some, and like whenever we got more than an inch, school was closed for like 4 days or whatever, but it was cool. Where I currently live, we definitely get a lot more snow, and I've realized I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. Like, I love looking at it and like observing the snow, but I hate driving in it. So I refuse to and make my partner do it. So one of the things that I do like about snow, beyond looking at it or observing it, is actually using it in witchcraft. And I used it a lot last winter, and I think I might have shown you some. I think I had like snow on my Imbolc altar this year. I can't remember if I got footage of it or not, because it was kind of later in the day that it had snowed, but it snowed on Imbolc for me this year, and it was really cool. So this summer, I also collected like a lot of rainwater, and I used that to energize a lot of my workings. To me, when it comes to natural sources of water, rain or anything coming from the sky really is just really special, because it's not something that happens every day. Whereas I feel like, turning on the tap is like a whole other thing. I'm just like, this is it, we're doing this, I guess. But using natural water, I think, is important to one's practice. And if you have access to it, which I hope you do, it's cool to use. So yeah, to me, there's just something about rainwater that like really just buzzes with the energy of the planet. And I love using it when I can. And the same thing goes for snow, but I feel like it's a different kind of energy. It feels more like cold and sharp versus like summer water. That just isn't that, like when you get, anyways, I think you guys know what I mean. So let's talk about what you can do with snow water, because I think it's a very cool resource, and it's something that I hope you guys use this year. One of the things that I recommend using snow water for is as an offering. It's one of those things that is really cool to offer to your deities as a deity working witch. Especially, I thought this would be like super neat for Norse practitioners, especially if you are in an area that doesn't snow a whole lot and you work with Norse gods. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like if you are working with a deity associated with water, but maybe also snow and winter, maybe a person who works with the a crone goddess, this is kind of their sacred season, so it's a good offering to put onto your altar. It's also just like a good offering to like put on your altar in general as like kind of like the first snow. I think that's really neat, and I like that idea. You can also put it on your altar as a representation of the water element. So there is that as well if you are a witch who does not work with deities, because like we like to say a lot on this channel, you do not have to work with deities to be a witch. It is fine. I happen to, but it is not like a requirement. So keep that in mind. It is all good. The next thing that you can do with snow water, and I think this is kind of the one that I use it for the most, is for cleansing. So one of the things that I like to do is take snow water, let it melt like in the heat of my house, and then with a pine branch, like dip it into the water and use it to gently kind of like flick water around my space to cleanse it. I do this the most on like my windows, not so much like the entire room, because that would take forever, but like I'll do it over my windows during the holiday season. And I think about how clean snow looks as it's falling, and I feel like that it really has that energy. So to bring it into the house is like a nice cleansing thing to do during the winter season. You can also like just use it in general to cleanse and charge your tools and crystals as well. So there's that, something kind of fun to do for the holidays. I have used snow for glamour magic, so it's number 3. And so what I did was I took snow water and I melted it. It was still cold, and I put rose petals and lavender in it, and I kind of stirred it up, and I used that to kind of like pat onto my face. Now, I don't necessarily recommend doing this if you live in like an urban area like I do, because like I just feel like air pollution's kind of gross. But if you are out in the wilderness or whatever, I don't really see a problem with it. I would not like drink snow water, but we've all been children who've eaten snow, I assume, or if you haven't, I'm sorry. Please, this is not about you, but those of us who have experienced it. I'm not advocating for it, obviously, because I don't want anybody to get sick, but also I was 7 once and I've eaten snow, so that's completely up to you. And the final thing is a fun snow day activity, perhaps, if you are interested in doing so, but that is to create a protective circle of runes or sigils around your house. So in the snow, like, in the fresh snow. You can like walk out of your house, start at the front, walk all the way around, just drawing sigils or runes, come up with something if you would like, and you can actually like walk the perimeter of your house in a circle, creating a protective circle in the snow. And of course, charging it so that way when the snow melts, the protection doesn't go away necessarily. Does that make sense? So yeah, like I said, I kind of caution against like ingesting snow water just because I don't want anyone to get sick from like possible pollutants or like runoff water. Do it at your own discretion. But anyways, I would love to know how you guys use snow water or snow magic in your practice, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.